Welcome back to Conspiracy Theories Boost. On this episode, we're talking about the marvel, the myth, the legend, the Loch Ness Monster. Have you seen this skinny monster in the lake? I haven't seen it for quite some time.
What?
I don't know that last
I'm your host. I'm Matt Klein.
I'm Nate Nasty.
I'm Casey.
Mike.
And I'm Jock Itch Joe.
And we're jumping right into the Nissy waters.
You say jock itch?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He said lock itch.
Your joke's gonna itch when you're jumping into the waters.
Do you think that's what they call the Loch Ness Monsters? Jock Itch is Lock Itch?
Yeah.
The other fish in the water bullying him.
Yeah.
In
Underneath its
case
lock
you didn't
strap.
know what the Loch Ness Monster was, it's essentially it's Littlefoot from Land Before Time, and except for it is in water.
It's clearly a Lapras.
It's Lapras.
It's definitely of all the Pokemon.
Of all the Pokemon, 100% a Lapras.
Somebody, and you know what? If there was only one, somebody probably caught it a long time ago because nobody can find that motherfucker.
Yeah, and now they're surfing through the Orange Isles with it.
What do they call that? Alolan in the new Pokemon game? It's supposed to be like the Orange Isles.
It's definitely an alternate level.
Loch Ness.
Like
Loch Ness lore. Loch Ness lore from Pokemon,
Loch
straight up.
The most accurate of, because they got the Pokedex, they got everything you need. Any cryptid, fucking pull that bitch up. Ask Ketchum wasn't fucking around, let me tell you.
Yeah, that's another conspiracy. We're a little off topic because that's another conspiracy. All Pokemon are cryptids. They really exist.
And somebody really is out there catching them all. So, Casey, why don't you go ahead and give us a description of what the Loch Ness is?
The old classic Joe. Everybody knows what the fucking Loch Ness Monster looks like. I'm not going to describe it to you. If you don't know what the Loch Ness Monster looks like, go on Google and type it in. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
You're saying go fuck yourself.
Wait.
Basically-
This sounds like fun.
Let's
all describe the Loch Ness.
There's that one with the weird fucking.
Let's all take turns describing the Loch Ness Monster.
I imagine it looks just like
as if someone had never seen it before.
It looks like a long
imagine-
neck with flippers.
Yeah, there's
That's
that
one.
description. There's also
They said
one
it had
description
humps.
that it looks like a dragon or a serpent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's that one,
And,
too.
and humps on its back that pop out of the water.
It looks like take a camera, look at a lake, zoom really, really far out, and then stick a bendy straw in there, and just kind of like just cup it in there. And then,
Or you just get a goose. That fucking picture looks like a fucking goose's shadow.
Do you guys know what that picture actually
That's the
is
most
of?
famous one, yeah.
Yeah.
That was taken by a surgeon. Isn't that kind of fucked up? Like a medical guy. Like took that like somebody he became a real surgeon. Is like in this, what is that, from the 30s or the 60s somewhere. Decades
1934, and that was Robert Kenneth
34.
Wilson, and that photo became known as the surgeon's photo.
Yeah,
He was a
English
surgeon
physician.
that knew nothing about
you
aquatic
can't
life.
trust a fucking surgeon, dude. When it comes to
You don't think so?
or maybe you
No.
can, because maybe it was real. You know, he admitted to the hoax, but maybe he got pressured into it by the Scottish government. He's trying to hide
was a
this fucking dinosaur.
he was a double agent. It actually wasn't a human being at all that took the picture. It was a
The
sturgeon.
Loch Ness Monster is a national treasure. We must protect it at all costs.
It was a sturgeon.
It was a surgeon
sturgeon.
sturgeon.
It tells you underwater life is real.
They do say that it could possibly be a giant sturgeon too, because sturgeons get pretty big as well.
Yeah, they don't have that big. They don't have that long necks though.
In case we don't know
Well-
what surgeons are, can you give us a
They're detecting.
Somebody describe sturgeons, please. Actually, most people probably haven't seen sturgeons, to be honest. But
No.
It's a-
This
like
picture-
a long, fat snake. Not like fat, but like thick.
They
fish.
look like a goddamn snake when you walk up on one. I can tell you that much. I jumped out of the river. I was walking in the river and I saw one.
that's
And
not
jump
bad.
Jeff, It was a giraffe that impregnated a sturgeon. That would make more sense to me.
Absolutely, dude. And well, you know what? That's actually interesting because like you're coming up with like a tie to Africa
Look up
here
a
where
big one.
giraffes are from. And
surgeons.
that's that area, like northern Africa, is where there's the most like proof for the possible existence of the Loch Ness Monster. Surprisingly, it's in North Africa.
Are you serious?
Because
Dude, it is giraffes.
Why is everything
Giraffes are
always in
fucking
Africa?
sturgeons.
Because, dude, well,
It's the
we'll
root
get
of
to that
life.
later. That's another conspiracy.
life.
But so
we have an
hold on.
Sorry.
There's
Or root of
there's a
humans.
So on the path of like people trying to prove whether or not there is a Loch Ness Monster, there is a lot of researchers that are like paleontologists and that are like marine biologists and stuff that study these areas. And one of the areas that they like to go into is like the part of the Saharan desert that goes into Morocco. And out there, it used to be ocean. And in those areas, they actually found the remains of plesiosaurs. And this, they say that, oh wait, no, it used to be fresh water. Sorry, it separated from the ocean a long time ago. But so basically, through what they extrapolate from that, finding those where there was fresh water, is that like these things could have lived in fresh water, where they've mostly been believed to be like a saltwater organism, like a plesiosaur.
Yeah.
So it
When you
like
do
sets
see
a
the
little bit of a
surgeons-
precedent.
Yeah. When you do
are
see
they
the
well-
surgeon's photo,
Yes.
it does look at what a scientist's account as what the plesiosaurs look like, or plesiosaurs.
Yeah. Plesiosaurs.
Are they
It's
very-
literally-
Plesiosaur?
That's
I
what
thought
it
it
is.
was plesiosaur.
I don't
know,
was
man.
right.
I think plesiosaur.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
it
you're a
pleased me
nice
sort.
you're a nice guy that's well mannered.
But you're probably the most literate.
Yeah. So I don't know. I call
probably
it. It
right,
could be.
though.
It could be a plesiosaur for all I know.
Pussysaur. Yeah, dude, African
Pussy.
pussysaur.
That pussy.
Oh my god.
It's cool that there's Afro cryptids
That
out there.
pussy got.
Have you seen a picture of one of those, Casey, or the rest of you? They look
The
like the fucking
plesiosaurs?
surgeon. Yeah.
Yeah, plesiosaurs.
They look like
Yeah.
the surgeon's photo.
Yeah, they. Well, I mean, they.
Yeah.
Like it's obviously what he probably based it off of. If there was pictures at the time or drawings at the time of what those looked like.
Like people usually depict it as kind of like either a giant serpent or as like
I
a
see.
plesiosaur.
Yeah, it actually
like
matches the descriptions a lot.
It does. It does. Like that's like if it does exist, if the Loch Ness Monster did exist, it would be a fucking plesiosaur or it would be a giant like snake thing. But who the fuck cares about big snake thing? That sounds stupid, dude. The movie Anacondas, like fuck off.
That's what I was kind of
want a
hoping it was
plesiosaur.
like a giant
it's not
fucking
called a
water
water
dragon.
snake
Was it-
thing.
Was that Owen Wilson
Serpent
in Anaconda?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
No. Owen
Yeah,
Wilson.
no, yeah, the first one. Yeah, Owen Wilson
Was he
in the first
really?
one. Yeah, he
I
was.
think so.
No.
Yeah, he was.
I
Yeah,
don't think
it-
so, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, no. I swear to God, I like watched it like 2 months ago. Owen Wilson was in the
Yeah.
first one. Yeah,
Why?
he played
Does he
a
say
non.
wow?
movie.
No,
He
maybe
did.
not. He plays a. He
Oh
plays a
yeah,
non.
Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, and Owen Wilson.
Yeah, all three of them.
He
Wild.
probably saw the fucking Anaconda. He's like, wow.
I don't remember Ice Cube in that movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's
I do. I
alive.
remember Ice Cube.
Him
I
and
remember
Jennifer
Ice Cube in there.
Lopez, they're like the
He's
main
the
characters.
dude.
They're like the
Yeah,
main
he's a main
characters.
dude.
What are you doing here? That's a snake. Wow. That's wow. You're gonna try to kung fu that water snake.
But
Wow.
yeah,
What
you
are
guys
you
know the
doing here?
picture, the
Why are
Chinese
you
dragons, the
doing snake
serpent-like
stuff?
ones. That's what I want in the water.
The serpent Chinese dragon.
I don't want any of that shit in
Yeah.
the water. That shit's scary. I hate the water. Everything's scary in the water. And now you tell me
Yeah.
there's dragons in the water. You tell me there's dinosaurs in the water. Jeff
Fuck yeah.
Goldblum. What's your take on this Loch Ness?
Yeah, dude,
God
I'd
damn.
be afraid-
Jeff Goldblum,
I'd be
man.
afraid of please and thank you sources. Okay, I don't think I can get into the water if I see that shit.
And please, and there's some thank you sources to go with that. I'm sure.
And some you're welcome dactyls just flying around too.
That's another conspiracy.
But that's the conspiracy for another day. Dude, fucking yeah.
Okay, well,
I lost my train of thought there.
Another
That was
fun
a hot
fact
take.
is is that like through like the testing that they've done, like so I think when you guys brought up sturgeons, I was like, yeah, it does actually look like a lot like a sturgeon, and that is one of the theories. But I think actually in the loch that there aren't sturgeon. I think that when they did like DNA testing and stuff, they found that there was just a shit ton of fucking eels and like not a whole lot of other things that could possibly fit the description. So some people are like, this might be a giant eel.
I can see that.
So, but reports of old Nessie date back to ancient times. They have stone carvings that depict a mysterious beast with flippers drawn in there.
See right there's the fucking plesiosaur. Yeah. Ancient times too. They know about the flippers and everything.
What are the chances?
They didn't even know about the dinosaur.
Yeah, what are the chances that one survived through the ice age? And survived through the crater hit and everything.
I don't know, because the whole thing. Well, I don't know, because it could be a big thing, but it only eats fish. Like, it has the smallest mouth, right?
Yeah, he probably eats eels. Dude, that motherfucker is full of eels. The lock
them down.
Yeah,
maybe
I could feel
sucking them up like spaghetti noodles.
Ladies are kissing that bitch.
Luckily for you guys,
there's
I got Jeff
another plesiosaur there, and they're sharing an eel. They kiss each other.
I got Jeff Goldblum on the line right now, and he's gonna tell us what he thinks about it.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Bring him on.
All right, I lied about that, and I
thought you had an audio.
You piece of shit,
dude! I thought you were gonna do a Jeff Goldblum.
I thought you guys probably assumed I had a soundbite, but I didn't.
Oh, we do have
that's
a fun
exactly
fact.
what we did.
We do have a fun fact for today, though. While we were not able to secure like a researcher, a real guest star that was gonna the knowledgeable person about the Loch Ness Monster, we were turned down by 3 real scientists. Fun fact, conspiracy outpost.
I don't think Steve was a scientist, more of
you're right.
an enthusiast, but
you don't have to call him out.
I would want it because the people. Well, he didn't decline rudely. He just said that he's just not gonna have it. He just said he couldn't do it. But no, because I guess a bunch of people, when they go visit the loch, it's like the tourist people, they go down, they go see him, and they give him pictures or tell him stories and stuff. So that's why I wanted him on, so he can tell us a little bit about that shit.
So, what are other sightings of Nessie? Like, what do we have?
Well, I was gonna say well, yeah, if you let me fucking talk.
Let's go ahead and
just kidding.
I want to go ahead and talk about the first written account of the Loch Ness Monster.
Right? Cool. That's what I was actually about to talk about. So perfect. Right. Go for it.
So he was first. The first written mention was in a biography called "The Life of Saint Columba." Is that how you say that? Columba.
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 So that was by
Columba.
Diary of a Saint Columba Kid.
Oh, dude, that guy killed his mom in real life. The Diary of Wimpy Kid. So, I mean, he's not a wimpy kid. He's actually a psychopath.
Oh my god!
Diary
this is a real story.
I know.
Diary of a psychopathic kid.
Diary of a schizophrenic.
He realized being in Supernatural wasn't enough to make him seem cool, so he had to make plans of killing the Prime Minister of Canada or whatever the fuck, and then killed his mom.
Diary of an assassin.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
That sounds
So
better
did his mom look kind of like the Prime Minister?
I guess he said he killed her to spare her the pain of knowing her son killed the Prime Minister. But then after killing her, gave up on his plans to kill the Prime Minister.
Yeah, it was like a Zoolander thing when he was like Zoolander. He was like hypnotized to kill the fucking Prime Minister.
Manchurian Candidate shit.
Yeah. But it's weird because I want to say Diary of a psychopathic kid. I mean, what he did was not wimpy at all.
He was like, nobody will make me eat rotten cheese now.
I can't say Diary of a brave kid because that sounds like we're giving him justice. It sounds like, oh, I'm proud of you, but I don't want to say that. Diary of a psychopathic kid.
Okay. Anyways, so according to Abnon, Iona, who was the one that made the biography, The Life of Saint Columba. He according to him, Saint Columba, who was an Irish minister. I can't even talk right now. Okay, so according to Abdanon, Saint Columba, an Irish missionary who helped introduce Christianity to Scotland, was on his way to visit the king. Was on his way to visit the king of Northern Picts when he stopped on the River Ness, which flows from Loch Ness, where he encountered a group of locals who were burying a swimmer that they claimed was mauled and dragged underwater by an enormous water beast. I like that.
Sick.
Actually, where I seen this at, they referred to I just said locals because the website that I was on, it was like a Catholic something. They called them heathenist people. Like,
was that the end of your account, Joseph?
What?
Was that the end of the account?
No, I just got this. Okay, so
okay. I wasn't sure if there was like two different stories. That's why I was wondering.
Oh, I'm not sure. There might be. This I got from like 3 different places. So he ordered one of his people, Lugnius Malcumin? I can't say the last name. To swim across the river to get a boat so they could cross. But the monster heard Lugnius splashing around like a fucking fresh magic carp. And so I guess he let out a mighty roar that I imagine sounded like a Gyarados. We keep it on the magic carp there. And everyone seemed like shook except fucking old Columba raised his holy hand in the name of God, etched a cross in the air, and with his best impression of Gandalf shouted, "You shall not pass." All right.
You shall.
The monster was terrified by the saint's voice, and he drew back as if he were yanked away by ropes, and he retreated to the depths of the loch, or she, whatever. Lugnius returned unharmed and with the boat, and everyone cheered and agreed Jesus is Lord. And this is a side note here. I believe that Columba took it as a sign from God to recruit Lugnius just to lug shit around for him.
I will say, not everyone gets that lucky. Not everyone gets that lucky.
Name.
He had no idea that this mythical creature was a Christian. Not everyone gets that lucky.
Oh, and by the way, I took that Gandalf thing. He actually said, "Thou shalt go no further nor touch the man. Go back with all speed." But I think Peter Jackson did that shit better. So we're just going to keep it at that. But despite the sheer dopeness of that, skeptics question its reliability due to the fact that the water beast stories were common in medieval hagiography. I don't know how to say that word, but it's like the biographies of saints. Like apparently it's just a normal fucking thing. It's a normal fucking thing apparently that saints are taking on fucking sea beasts and everybody cheers in the name of God. Like God,
fucking sea beasts.
I'm starting to think. I'm starting to think the Ark by Noah was actually a big ass sea beast.
You know, if it is a serpent beast and not like a plesiosaur, but like more like serpenty, it could be a Gyarados.
A what?
That's another conspiracy. The Japanese creator of Pokemon is like in on this. Like
he's actually
he's seen Loch Ness before. That was the inspiration for Gyarados.
It's actually very similar to the whole Van Helsing thing, except for it's this one Japanese family that for the whole course of history have hunted these monsters and kept them for the most part out of public eye. But he decided he didn't want to do that. He wanted to make little Japanese pocket monsters and decided to make them based off of these animals. And yeah, that's how Pokemon came about.
If they get to the point of like Jurassic Parking shit, you know, like fuck dinosaurs, let's get some Pokemon or something like Digimon or some shit, you know.
Dude, Jurassic Parking came way later because they didn't even have cars back then.
I'm saying it like in the current day, But so in 1933, the legend it began to grow a little bit more, and there was this road that was next to the loch that was finished, and in April, this couple saw an enormous animal that they compared to a dragon or a prehistoric animal.
That was my dick.
That was
that was just me doing the backstroke.
Yeah, just floating. I'm floating.
After that, Casey, and so after that,
hard a little bit.
You say enormous, monstrous. Yeah, those are two common adjectives I
Casey,
hear.
Was that the same couple that it became like that whole fucking attention around like the world and stuff with the media?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know about that.
The media.
Well,
Tell us about it.
So yeah, the thing that here in 1933, the legend of the Loch Ness Monster began to grow, like you were saying. The report was written in the Inverness Courier. That couple allegedly.
Is it Inverness or Iverness?
Iverness. I have no idea. That's a. Don't quote me because I say things wrong all the time. But also quote this: "Eat my ass." Okay.
Got it.
Apparently, yeah, because that couple, said the whole thing about the enormous animal rolling and plunging on the surface of the Loch Ness. The story became, the story became a media phenomenon, gaining the attention of London newspapers and a £20,000 reward for anyone who could catch the Lapras. I mean, the Loch Ness Monster. We got this.
Whoa, how much? How much was the reward?
£20,000 for anybody that could. There were like the London newspaper
in the 30s.
That's pretty good, actually. That's
like $1 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, they were sending. Hella people. Like they were sending hella people out to the Loch Ness. Anybody that can actually like capture this fucker.
If you can fight, if you have a boat, if you have a spear, please join us on the loch.
I can't catch it. It's unfair. This guy's got net balls, and all I got are premier ones.
And all I've got are dive balls.
Oh, dive balls. That's the one. Nets are for bugs. God damn it.
The shit.
No, net balls I think are also good for fish, aren't they? And dive balls are good for Pokemon after you dive. When you down low.
Yep.
Yeah, dive.
Nate's correct on that.
Under the sea.
So after that account, Joseph, after that account, they began people began sending letters into the news stations describing what they saw: monster fish, sea serpent, dragon,
Lapras.
and then they finally they ended up. That's where they ended up setting on the name as a Loch Ness Monster. And since the 1940s, the creature has been called Nessie, or Scottish Gaelic Nisieg.
Okay.
Well, okay. So let me tell you this. Tell me. So,
fucking tell us, Daddy.
Please.
Well, actually, no. Actually, hold on, Nate. Go ahead and tell me what you're gonna say, so I can collect my thoughts.
I was gonna say, yeah. So that's the real, like. So does the Loch Ness Monster exist? I mean, duh. Of course it does. But is it a Gyarados or a Lapras? Is like the real question.
Does it have an evolution?
Does it have it? Fuck. I never even considered that, man. Fuck.
Do you need a water stone or a type of day, or does it have to use a move a certain amount of times? We don't know these answers.
You're blowing the fucking lid off this shit, Joe.
I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Scarlet lately.
Have you guys?
Mike's over here like, the fuck is a Pokemon?
I'm not that good with Pokemon.
No idea. This guy listens to metal.
Dude, it's like, dude, if Ozzy didn't bite its head off, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what animal it is.
I actually saw a Pokemon meme today, which is funny because
in all fairness, you know why Ozzy bit the head off, right? So earlier in that evening, the bat bit somebody. In order to test for rabies, you have to kill the animal. So Ozzy bit the head off to see if it had rabies.
It tastes like rabies free.
Had rabies, and so he did someone a solid somewhere. Also, he scared the shit out of Batman, and also he did something pretty crazy on stage, and also he freaks me out.
Anyway, I saw this Pokemon meme today.
Oh my God, it's like Pokemon. Just kidding.
Well, I was trying to say it, but then Matthew went off on this Ozzy biting the head off.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, it was like I don't know why people say they want Pokemon or something. It's like, could you imagine going outside and getting jumped by 3 Hitmonchans?
Dude, that's what I said. Imagine
your wallet's gone.
Imagine walking.
You're gonna black out. You're gonna black out and lose all your money. It's not no Pokemon game.
And imagine walking. Imagine you're just going down a stroll, enjoying your fucking self. Just caught a Rattata. You think they're dope. You like mice, or you like rats, and then you're just walking by this tall grass, and a fucking licking tongue out of nowhere hops out and licks your ass crack. Like, nobody wants that shit.
Speak for yourself. If there's a creature out there ready to lick my butthole, let's go. No,
that's what I named because I don't know if
that doesn't even look real.
Casey, Pokemon gym leader Casey challenged you to the battle. He throws out 6 licking tongues.
Bro, I don't think that was real.
I bet you I could last longer than you. No, but Operation Deep Scan was the largest and most intense search for the proof of the Loch Ness Monster.
Wait, what was it called?
Deep
Deep Scan?
Oh,
Operation
did they
Deep
go in
Scan?
the ocean?
I think I have heard
In the
about this
lake?
actually. I think they did
The
like a
lake.
National Geographic about this.
How
Oh, did
deep did
they?
they go in the lake?
I think so.
Dude, that
They
and the crazy thing about that, Casey, like the whole Loch Ness thing, like that's like the biggest, like has the largest volume of freshwater in Great Britain. So it's like that's an intense fucking like. There's no way you can scan that whole fucking like area.
But so Operation Deep Scan started with a guy named Adrian Shine. Yeah, he's the leader. He was the leader of the Loch Ness project, and he teamed up with Daryl Lawrence, head of the Lawrence Electronics in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He thought Loch Ness would be a good testing site for his sonar units. I keep fucking wanting to say Loch Ness Monster every time I read that.
Oh, I know. Anytime the word Loch Ness and then Loch River, I keep trying to say Loch Ness instead.
You can
of
just
Loch
call it
River.
lake too, dude. It's a lake. It's just a
It's a Lake Ness. Basically.
Yeah, Lake Ness Monster.
What is
doesn't
the-
sound as cool.
Yeah, so you got to say look. But
Look.
so the trial started in the loch in 1986, and they used 10 boats fitted with the Lauren X16 sonar units, and the units were used because it would record anything on a paper chart seen in the depths. The units had a range of 1,300 feet and can target objects as small as 1 foot and separate objects just 1 inch apart. The boats that were supplied by Cadley Cruises set out from the new Klansman Hotel on into the loch, and they tried to form a line, but the weather was bad. The winds forced them to stop, so they had to basically just fucking start over again. So they had to wait a year, and then on October 9th, 1987, they started the largest sonar sweep of any freshwater loch anywhere in the world. I guess
Loch
it's a
history.
lake, but
So
Yeah, what did they find though?
oh, I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna get to that. Just let me continue. We got a couple more bullet points. Go ahead, Joseph, if you have a question.
I was just gonna say, Klansman actually has 2 different meanings. Depends on where you're at. Because when you say it in fucking Scotland, it sounds a lot less dangerous than it does here in the States. But also, I just wanted to clear something up. I got a little dyslexic there for a minute. I said Loch River when I meant to say River Ness. I kept wanting to say Loch Ness instead of River Ness earlier. And I flipped it. I don't know if anybody caught me, but it sounded weird right before Nate explained what loch was. I said Loch River or River Loch. I said something weird, but it's River Ness, and I fucked that up. But
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I just wanted to clear it up before somebody was like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" But anyways, yeah, Casey, you can continue on.
In case he's gonna continue.
Yeah, so they hired they got back with Cadley Cruises. They got their boats. They hired anybody who was willing to take their boat out onto that fucking lake and help them out. And then so the boats they all went out. They formed a line of 19 boats, all fitted with the Lawrence X16 sonar units. And the boats included the new Atlantis, fitted with the Simrad scanning sonar, which can be seen at the loch today. Currently, so they started going down. They started moving towards Fort Augustus, and they kept their line by using flags on several other boats. And then on the first day, they got 3 strong sonar contacts recorded from 78 meters down, which is 256 feet. To 180 meters, which is 590 feet, which are called the object entered sonar at 174 meters and was tracked for 140 seconds. The new Atlantis moved forward to try to engage the target with the Simrad scanning sonar, but without success. The position of all 3 targets were taken down using the deck and navigation equipment, so they can be revisited later. The boats returned to the new Klansman Hotel, and everyone waited and and that debriefing later in the evening, they said the 3 contacts that they made in that lake were larger than any creature that would live in that lake that they know that live in that lake.
Does it have any of the like specs of it there?
Let me
Is this the stuff that was done by Ronald McKenzie or
no? This
older.
This was done in the 1986 by Adrian Shine. Adrian Shine teamed up with Daryl Lawrence.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually kept begging him to stop, but he's like, no one can stop my shine.
They tried to get Martin Lawrence, but they couldn't afford him.
Or Lawrence Fishburne, but unfortunately he was.
They said that all contacts were larger than a shark, but smaller than a whale.
Yeah, Matthew, that's the goose picture. It's like a fucking goose to me.
So
sorry, go ahead.
20, 25 feet thereabouts. There's sharks that do get that big, but most sharks are generally around 15 feet long for a decent sized one.
So with those 3 contacts, so the second day they went back and they tried to go to those same spots and they couldn't find those targets again, which made them speculate that it was a moving creature. It's something that doesn't. Yeah. It's not a stationary object, So
yeah.
And the fact that they tried to chase it, right?
Yeah, they sent another boat. They sent another boat equipped with a different sonar, like a different kind of scanning equipment. And when they got over there, the creature was gone. So
it was moving decently fast, and it wasn't like just a possibly underwater tree being pushed across the bottom by current.
Yeah, and they said, it's estimated that the search covered about 60% of the loch from the, but they couldn't, obviously do
they couldn't get the whole loch.
They couldn't do obviously the shallow spots or the super because the loch is it's a big one. It's the largest fresh body
deep
water in Britain. It is it's estimated with a depth of 788 feet, and the bottom of the loch is supposed to be flat as a bowling green, they say, which is basically like a yard that you a nice flat yard that you do lawn bowling.
I just imagine
I didn't know what it was. I was like, what the fuck's a bowling green?
The thing that I wrote, it said that it had the length of about 23 miles. So
the loch?
Yeah, the loch did.
Oh wow, that's a lot bigger than I thought it was. What? Probably the whole perimeter of the lake.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, circumference, not diameter.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing I wrote, it said near what Casey said, but it wasn't the exact number of feet. And then it said in the length of about 23 miles, and that it was it's the largest freshwater in Great Britain, like Casey said.
It holds 263,000 cubic feet of water, which is around 16,430,000 million gallons of water, with a surface area of 14,000 acres. It can hold the population of the world 10 times over.
What? I wonder if anybody's ever
bizarre to imagine.
Gone near the lake.
I know. That's what I was what?
I wonder if anybody's gone near the lake and done ground penetrating sonar to see if there's underwater caverns.
Yeah, dude.
Well, okay, so this next little fun fact about the loch. I have 4 more fun facts about the loch if you guys want to hear them.
I got one too. Word.
It said it is fed by 7 major rivers. I don't know how to pronounce most of those, so I'm not going to even try. With only one outlet to the River Ness, which flows 7 miles through the Moray Firth, 52 feet below the loch surface.
Is the River Ness just the main one? It's like a deep water channel that goes to the ocean, or?
Yeah, it's the only one with an outlet, and then that one is it's 52 feet below the surface of the lake.
So that Project Deep Scan, it's kind of cool talking about how people have done these projects on the Loch Ness. Obviously, people are really interested in the body of water. It's a kind of cool what the Loch Ness conspiracy or whatever has done for that area, ecology and science. There's a lot of people using this spot, and another one of the people that did that was Ronald McKenzie. I think that he did he used a boat owned by some organization called Cruise Loch Ness. Probably more people that are making money off of the loch, you know? And they actually captured with their radar an image that was pretty good. And it's like, it's another one of those things like, is it a hoax? Is it a fucking tree moving down deep below? It's not like an actual sighting, but it's a radar reading, that generated an image. Mm-hmm. They said that they scanned down, how much was it? Like 190 meters. So like that's roughly what you guys were saying before, like almost 800 feet. And they found something that was moving that was like 33 feet long. That was in the depths of the meters. Oh, they said
570 feet for 140 seconds.
You got a big sonar contact.
You know why they?
Unless you're reading something else. Sorry, I thought you were summing up something. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So this. Yeah, this is different.
Got you. Sorry. I thought you were just doing like a thought. Sorry,
Still
my
about
apologies.
close to 600 feet down on both of those. Give or take about 50 feet.
Yeah. Because they said that he was saying that during the time that they did this, which I think was in 2011, that the loch was 190 meters down, and they found it. They made the big contact at 170 meters.
So this,
and the dude says, Ronald says, this equipment can't lie. It's 100% genuine. That's his quote. I feel like if you have to go that hard, like, I don't know how.
It's literally a reading. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a silent partner for the company.
Yeah. Oh, he claims that an expert has looked at the image and verified that at least the sonar reading is 100% genuine.
Do they have a name for the guy that fucking he can verify?
Of course not.
So if this is Nessie, like at 100, damn near 100, or what was it, 600 feet down, damn near, it's a cold water animal, like super fucking cold.
Well, you say that, but
high pressure.
The loch, it's actually it lays there's a thermo line that lays about 100 feet down in the loch, and I guess the deep water would be colder because the top 100 feet the temperature is always changing because it never drops anything below 44 degrees Fahrenheit. So when the surface cools, it drops down, and it raises. It has heat water go up, so it's always thing. And they say the steam that comes off the loch on the cold days is estimated to give off the equivalent of burning 2 million tons of coal.
What? So it's safe to say we can clean our.
Where are we harnessing this?
What?
I want to look.
And the loch never freezes due to this.
Wait, what are you saying about the coal, like though? Is it emitting a shit ton of CO2?
When the top water, no. When the top water, so like the top of the lake will start to freeze, but then the water would, the frozen stuff will drop down, it will sink down, and since it's under a thermo line, so there's always warm water coming up, and so it'll replace that water. So the cold drops, the warm replaces. So the first 100 feet of water is always at 44 degrees.
You're telling me I can pee in the water and
what was the coal thing?
Not even the fish.
Oh, that on cold
boiled
on cold days in the winter, when it nears freezing point, the ice sinks and is replaced by the warmer water, causing steam.
Part. Okay.
No, I'm telling you, and that causes that doing that, the ice sinking and the warm water going up causes a steam to go up, and it is estimated that the heat given off by the loch in the winter is equivalent to burning 2 million tons of coal.
Got you. Okay, that's tight. Actually, it's like a big fucking. It's like a big hot waterbed, dog. It's like it's warming up that
spring.
It's warming up that region. It's kind of warming up my region a little bit right now. Just thinking about it.
Take a dip.
So it's like a hot spring kind of thing. Like what? Just like really warm water, or just the steam itself.
It's big and it has a thermal line. So like the motion of hot to cold water produces a ton of steam that leaves it as heat. So the amount of heat that it generates like comes out of the loch, which is all from sunlight probably, or maybe geothermal activity a little bit too. That's the only places where that heat would come from. Comes out of the surface at the rate of being that much fucking coal, burning that much coal in a year. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a lot of heat.
Woo.
What a weird, not fucking Loch Ness Monster related fact that turned out to be really interesting. What?
We're talking about the
fuck?
Earth now.
Talking about the loch.
So are you saying so Loch Ness's type would definitely be water, like maybe like water earth or something? I don't know. It'd have like a secondary type. I can't think of one that would be air. Air.
So it doesn't. It's not warm water. It's still extremely cold. You will get hypothermia if you swim in it, but it doesn't freeze. There is a thermal layer that keeps the top of the water cold or warmer than freezing.
I see. So that is probably some geothermal shit. Like if it's fucking...
but under that thermal layer, it still gets very cold. Like
that's why I said never mind when I was spitting that out. I was like, oh, never mind.
Yeah,
it'd be cold. Yeah,
like the average temperature apparently of Loch Ness is like.
What do you think the bitch would eat though? Like let's look at the food chain.
Fish, eel, plant.
Yeah, but there's tons of eel up there.
What a sad life, dude.
There's enough to sustain it though. How big it is?
If it is, it's got to be like.
I mean, there's lakes in America and rivers in America where we have giant catfish and sturgeon. Not as giant as what they're saying, being up to 25, 30 feet long, catfish, but
you can get sturgeon. They do get big, and catfish get big.
Yeah, sturgeon can get up to like 12, 13 feet. But they look like a fucking pike. They're
dude,
thin.
and he could it could slurp that. It could slurp that shit like spaghetti.
Yeah,
just like.
So what if the monster doesn't reside in the lake full time?
That's what I wanted to know about.
What if it uses these riverways to get to the ocean? Yeah, like that. So like it's like a salmon kind of deal. Like they go to the ocean and they come back to the lake. Have their babies, and their babies go back to the ocean, and occasionally we catch a glimpse of them.
Well, Casey, that's what I was gonna say. Was the first written thing? I don't think was actually in the Loch Ness. It was in the River Ness. Like the first reported written sighting wasn't in the Loch Ness itself, so it could be traveling up and down.
There is a study of certain types of sharks that do go into colder water in Arctic areas, and that they move slower because of it, and they'll actually sit in like caves with there will be a natural water flow through the caves, so that it still pushes water through their gills, and they'll just fucking sit there. That's why I was wondering if there was like underground channels and shit like that.
Do you think this thing needs oxygen? So anything that goes in the cold
I think so.
It's like energy. So if it goes into cold water, its body metabolizes slower. Everything it has to move slower. Everything biologically moves slower just to kind of like keep it alive, right? But if you're like a fast critter, if you're something that's super fast all the time, slows down, that'll kill you. Your body can't do that. Something that's made for speed cannot slow down. Except
somewhere in between a lapras and a
except for a bear. But like, does it need oxygen? It does need oxygen, right? So.
Give a bear some cocaine.
So, the dinosaur. I forget the name of the dinosaur. Starts with a P.
Yeah, the plesiosaur.
Plesiosaur.
Please and thank you, Sor.
Plesiosaur. How do you say it?
Yeah.
Well, plesiosaur.
Plesiosaur.
It's probably not right. I don't know.
Please me, I'm sore.
Please me, daddy.
So that dinosaur, its long neck was evolution to grab things off the bank of an ocean or something, right? It had a long neck that grabs shit
most
off
likely,
the bank, right?
yeah.
So dude, how does it stay relevant in modern times with being elusive? Like how does it not be seen, but it still has a long neck, like it's gonna do anything. So I think
that is it.
Well, that's if it's that one though.
Yeah, because there's also ones that look like giant eels.
Right, it has a long neck.
Yeah.
But how does it stay relevant biologically and still be elusive? Is my
Well,
only
70%
thing
of our Earth is ocean, and we've searched more of space than our ocean. So if it is in an ocean, a freshwater, saltwater critter, and it does go to the ocean, maybe it doesn't come back for a certain amount of time. Maybe they're like migratory kind of deal.
But I will say, please be my ass sore. It has a long neck because it can grab things off of land, and it can still be in the ocean and still grab things off land. And
Like
so
people
that's
who
why,
have gotten a clear picture of it.
Yeah, well, they're all dead. Anyone that's ever got a picture of it's dead. That's why it's still stay alive. It's eating everybody.
It's like that dude that took the picture of the basilisk in Harry Potter,
gone.
except he actually died.
Well, if this is like a creature that is used to colder temperatures and
I don't know any advantage it can still be
higher.
I get what Matthew's saying about the long neck thing.
Because
it's like, what's
as a dinosaur thing, you have to evolve.
Reaching its
There's
head
only a
into
couple
undersea
things.
caves.
Oh yeah, maybe kind of like an
things have to
aardvark on a
evolve,
fucking tree for bugs.
Or if it was an ambush predator, it could like hide its like long neck and like wait for something to swim past its head and then like turn back at it.
There's a couple creatures. There's a couple creatures
like
that
a
survived since the dinosaur era.
the trapdoor tarantulas that they just hide it, and when something goes by, they grab it and pull it down in their den.
Like there's like that crocodile. I forget the name of the turtle.
Crocodile
like
Dundee.
Crocodile. Yes.
The one that goes after Hook.
Alligator turtle.
It's alligator.
Lyle crocodile.
Its genetic makeup's barely changed.
Snapping turtle.
Forever, right? Because what it does best, and it does it so good. And what it does best. Don't need to change.
This creature could have evolved if it is a variation of the Plessy. It could have evolved by retreating to.
Was good at eating stuff off land, and so
what I'm saying is it could have.
Well, if it's not eating things off land right now, or otherwise we'd know it wouldn't be as elusive.
Yeah, but during an ice age or after a comet hit or whatever, it would probably have to retreat to deeper waters to try to find more stuff to eat.
There's probably a lot more food in the water.
Yeah, and so what would
it would evolve to have a shorter neck. It would be less long. And it would be smaller. So it could be smaller, but I think it would have less long of a neck. It wouldn't be as long. And so I don't believe the creature exists the way we think it is. Just because biologically that long neck was used to grab things offshore.
Yeah.
And if it grabbed things offshore, it would continue to have a long neck if it kept grabbing things offshore, but we would see it 100 times.
Yeah.
I actually have
if it grabbed offshore. The fact that it's elusive means that it has to be more compact. It has to be smaller.
Well, I don't think it's being elusive. I think it's a creature that grew an adaptation to being colder and higher pressure areas. And
I think you would lose
just
that.
Like giant
you lose
squid
that ability
and shit like that.
So
you don't see giant squid come up.
Well, evolution, use it or you lose it. Evolution is use it or lose it.
Yeah, apparently the Loch Ness does
Evolution.
come up though, because all the sightings of it comes up for something.
Well, evolution is.
And the readings are like 600 feet down.
But all
evolution is use it or lose it. And so if you don't use that long neck, it's gone. There's no point.
No, we still get.
If you don't use it, it's gone.
We have no use for it.
Well, it doesn't make any sense. We see it a lot more often.
Got that spleen too, homie.
Yeah, the spleen.
But
do you guys think that the Loch Ness actually buries?
Well, also human beings are different. Okay, we've outcompeted every creature. Well, we are actually a mystery. We're a phenomenon right now. We're something that shouldn't exist regularly. I think
that's conspiracy.
That's conspiracy. Human beings are something else, guys. We're on a different spectrum. We shouldn't be as smart as we are and still live in the same world as these other creatures.
There are actual tribes and shit that have evolved the human species. Like there's a tribe that's on like a floating island type thing off the coast of Thailand or something like that, where this tribe has developed different
they
lungs
actually
and shit like that, so they can dive for super long periods of time because they hunt underwater.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I know what you're talking about. And
I've never heard of that.
no, yeah, they can. These people can actually see better underwater than everyone else.
Yeah,
and I know, I know what you're
and
talking
it's
about.
because people who couldn't dive long enough to feed their family died out.
Either died
So
out or
only the people who-
didn't reproduce.
Yeah,
because
the people who
that can see
could-
better underwater had more kids because they got more women and stuff like that. But no, real story. But no, the thing is, what advantage does it yield to be this big? You're a big creature. It's hard to be undetected as such a big creature. But what is the purpose of having a long neck?
Well,
if you're not
that's it.
the
That's
long
it.
neck.
That is if it's the Plessy version of it, because there are versions that are said to look like a serpent
Serpent, yeah.
or an eel
Its
or
neck
something
should
like
get
that.
shorter with
true,
time.
too.
With all that evolutionary.
But it might not be a neck at all because snakes, like their body is mostly torso. They have barely any tail and
has a
barely
lot
any
of
neck.
it has a
Yeah,
lot of reporting
but
to being like a
snake
sea
makes
dragon.
sense.
It
A
would be
snake
more
makes sense.
serpent.
Which it might be. It might be like serpent style. That's what
Yeah,
we're saying. It's like
serpent style.
if
Yeah,
it's
it
not a
could
plesiosaur, like
probably
if we
literally
rule
be a
that
big
out.
ass snake. So you're saying it might be a big ass snake?
I still
yeah.
Or a
Be an
snake-shaped
anaconda,
creature,
maybe.
like how an eel is like
And-
roughly snake-shaped too.
I like to believe
Yeah.
it looks like a sea, like a serpent, but still with humps like a camel. Dude, that's hilarious.
the humps, yeah. Full of milk, full of snake milk.
It stores eels in its humps. It stores eels in its humps, and it releases them like fucking parasitic.
I was trying to have that in my fruity
my
lips.
God.
Attacks.
How is that gonna have that?
It attacks its enemies that way. It stores the eels
my
until it can brainwash them in some kind of parasitic fashion. That it stores these little like bacteria things that fucking mind control them, and then he just fucking shoots them out of its mouth to kill other eels.
Making
that it
me
can-
blush.
I'm behind that.
Actually, though, if it is the long neck one, do you guys think that it buries its head under the ocean floor or under the nest floor? Or the
an
lock
ostrich?
floor? God damn it! Yeah, like an ostrich.
It might be. It might be
You
a
know-
drop
you know-
neck dinosaur.
Sorry. Ostrich actually don't do that. Someone.
No, I know
it's a
it was
myth.
a joke.
Yeah.
They don't actually bury their heads.
They do that when I'm fucking them.
Let me tell you something. When I'm fucking ostriches, something's getting buried. 100%.
Oh my god!
They bury their heads. They bury their neck.
I'll bury
they
that
bury
bird
them eggs,
pussy.
and I'm gonna bury me in that bitch. And them feathers.
And then I buried my seed. I got a little. That got a little bad in there.
Those are vaguely Loch Ness Monster shaped too, like an ostrich. Imagine an ostrich underwater, you know? But
Sea ostrich. It's a fucking great ancestor. That's what they evolved from. But no, the reason they can't find, and nobody ever talks about this conspiracy, which is 100% true, they can't find them because the Loch Ness Monster is actually a type of like werewolf thing. Like it turns into whatever. In real life,
It bit somebody.
It comes out once every so often to do a
That
shitty
motherfucker.
movie, and it goes by the name Taylor Lochner. And that was the shitty name it came up with when it came up from the fucking Loch.
There are other areas that have their own legend of the
Come on,
Loch
guys.
Ness Monster.
Shark
Yeah,
boy.
Nate was saying in Africa. Nate was saying in Africa.
Well, yeah,
Right?
he said
that's
he
where
said
there's some
Africa.
evidence of what inland plesiosaurs, like freshwater dwelling
Yeah,
plesiosaurs.
probably fossils and stuff in the desert.
There's fossils. There's a whole fossil. There's a fossil of a whole baby one, and then there's remnants, like remnant pieces of a bunch of adults. What were you saying, Casey?
But our neighbors to the north, in the Great White North, Canada, they have the Ogopogo up there, and it's basically, which is basically like kind of like a Nessie kind of deal. I mean, I feel like they'd be different creatures, but maybe
It's a
on
whole
the
other
same,
cryptid.
yeah, but maybe on the same kind of like what do you call it?
Like the same like genus.
Same.
Yeah,
gene,
yeah,
same
yeah, that's what I'm
knowledge,
trying
Like
to
they're
I mean-
closely related.
Another cold freshwater area.
There's
You know?
there's just a more kind Loch Ness Monster up in Canada.
So
He's
is,
like,
is,
hey,
this- is
I'm
this
just
a
trying to swim
freshwater
here.
monster?
That's another interesting correlation. These are both cold areas, like cold
Yeah.
as fuck. You know,
And
like-
yeah,
and-
and,
and-
in the
and
genus
this-
term,
Kinda
the
weird.
genus term in Latin is Littlefoot.
And is this in a freshwater area? Or is it
Marina
Have me for a
Littlefoot.
second.
Genus Latin Marina Littlefoot.
Well, actually, in the genus, in the Latin name, it's actually that's a
There's-
rough translation. It's actually Lambifortimus. And
Have
it's
you
like
guys Have you guys heard of the one that maybe one of you know its name? If you do, say it. But there's so talking about like Littlefoot and shit like that, and like also talking about like this. What was the name of the one you brought up, Casey?
Ogopogo.
Yeah,
Ogopogo.
Was that a freshwater thing, by the way?
That sounds
Another one. Okay,
it's another inland freshwater cold.
I believe that their lake it goes off to the ocean as well. Like they have rivers that go off to the ocean as well. So that's why I'm like more like if we're not seeing them all the time, maybe they're not dwelling in the lake all the time. Maybe they only come back at a certain thing, you know?
For mating. And maybe they do it for mating purposes like salmon do. They travel upstream. Maybe they travel down into these lakes to fuck, and then they hop back up into the fucking ocean.
Yeah, and they just
they like it cold. They have the opposite dicks that we do. They get bigger in the cold water. But so
looking for a enhancement, just get that cold water, brother.
There's another one that's similar that is in South America. I'm blanking the name right now, and I don't feel like googling it. You can Google it if you want to, but it's like a long neck dinosaur that's supposed to like stomp through some sort of South American jungles. I don't remember if it was Brazil or if it was further south in South America, but it's basically it's another situation where people are like, maybe dinosaurs are alive. Which, by the way, folks, listeners, there's upcoming cryptid episodes that we'll be discussing possible living dinosaurs coming up in this season too. So, but there's another one
relative of the Apatosaurus of the Dilophosaurus.
Diplodocus.
Oh, yeah.
You call it Diplodocus? Dude, everybody says these dinosaur names different because nobody's here to tell us what the fuck they are.
We have no archaeologists here. No archaeologists here.
Isn't that
whichever ones they didn't say in Jurassic Park? We have no idea how exactly.
Somebody get Chris Pratt down here. Somebody get Chris Pratt.
This thing.
Finally,
that thing. Yeah, looking like that. Yeah. Oh, with the whip tail. Yes.
Yeah, murking these fucking T-Rexes right now. Look, he took 2 of them down. He's about to fuck this other one up.
Yeah, dude.
Are those T-Rexes or Carno?
He fucking killed this one in one whip. Fucking knocked him out. He just
knocked him out cold.
Murked this guy, and he's about to fucking take this guy out too.
Yeah, he's gonna
imagine the guy that had enough patience to sit there and watch it all happen and draw it.
Well, the original illustration was actually just watched here, and then
that's actually a photograph taken on a Polaroid camera.
Look at this.
Every time.
So there was this guy called his name was Rupert Gould or Gould is how it's spelled. So
with the Loch Ness, yeah.
Yeah, can I ask a question about that other one in Canada real quick? Just because I want to.
Yeah.
Have they done the sonar thing for that one too? And if so, like how deep was it found?
I didn't look up anything for the Ogopogo because I wanted to do an actual episode on the Ogopogo.
Okay, we'll get to that then. I just wanted to know if they're found around the same depth.
But here, let me see.
Dude, if we do an Ogopogo episode, we're gonna end up just talking about Lapras and the Loch Ness Monster again.
Yeah, we're just I'll
do this episode again.
That goofy meme, I'll do it again.
250 feet. Anywhere from no, that's the lake. About 250 feet down. 250 to
that's even deeper. Oh, feet or meters?
That's feet. Yeah, feet.
Okay.
So that's
shallower. Yeah.
But how that's as deep as that lake.
And that's sorry. That's the depth of the lake. But yeah, so obviously it'd be shallower because it's not as deep. So
yeah, so he's got even less space to hide, dude. So what are these fucking? You know what?
It's an average depth of 762 feet.
Oh.
Well, dude, that's a maximum depth, and the average depth is around 250 feet. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Okay, so it is a really deep lake, so it could still be hanging out 100 feet off the bottom in the same
living
range.
Out in the deep core.
If I'd like to see if they've done sonar for it. If they haven't, I hope they do.
And if this lake has similar like thermal conditions as the Loch Ness, because what if that's like a weird factor that has to do with how they survive or something?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yeah, but this is so I mean it's when we're talking about just the Loch Ness, like culturally is like on par for the mythology of the area too, because there's like what water horses, sea cats, fucking kelpies and shit like that, and I have a feeling that all three of those are actually really similar. But there's basically like river beasts, and like you could take it as it's sort of a personification of like the wildness and the danger of the rivers itself, because dude, a person can just get fucking sucked in the undertow and they're fucking gone forever. In Costa Rica recently, a kid got like snapped up in front of his parents by a crocodile. So like there's actual fucking just dangerous shit that lives in the rivers. Like,
I read about that.
Know.
I read
From
about
what
that.
I read about
that's sad. So
That's
sad.
pretty far from Scotland, but I mean like just rivers are dangerous.
Yeah, from what I read about Loch Ness, it's there's a lot of one, it has very cold water, and two, there's a lot of like undertows and underwater currents that do drown people. So it is a somewhat dangerous lake.
Yeah.
Nate, why'd you have to do that, dude? I just watched this nice movie that my family like called Lyle Lyle Crocodile, and you got to bring up a crocodile eating a kid. Like,
No, I read about that too. I did read
Crocodiles
about
are
that
canceled.
Too. That's wild.
What I was saying about Rupert Gold is
they cancel it.
They can't eat no more.
he suggested that the creature was a long-necked newt. Like
Fucking
a giant. He said a giant amphibian.
Oh, okay.
Then Roy Mackle examined the possibility, giving it the highest score, 88% on his list of possible candidates.
Hey, do they have a scientific?
I want to see the list.
Do they, Casey? Is there an
Aren't
actual?
most amphibians like cold-blooded?
Oh,
I think so.
Well,
Yeah,
the Loch Ness. Well, yeah, but only because the Loch Ness was treated bad. But I'm sure if you warmed up to him,
you know what?
back.
Dude,
guys,
here's a. Oh, sorry. Go.
No, I was just gonna say, is there a scientific name for the Loch Ness monster, or is it just that?
Well, it hasn't actually been found, so they haven't categorized
But don't
it.
they have one for like Bigfoot and stuff, or no?
Well, it does have a Latin. It has a Latin name. The plesiosaur does. I mean, like if you're taking it as like the dinosaur thing.
So there's
But as a cryptid, they don't have like scientific names for cryptid things.
Oh, I thought they
It's
did for
messy.
Did they not? For
Please fuck my ass sore.
I'd be wrong.
But dude, fuck. Oh, I lost my thought. Oh, okay. You brought up amphibians are cold-blooded, right? So
I'm just not sure.
Yeah, no, that's true though, because like I mean, you've seen like maybe those frogs that get frozen and they fucking like they survive being entirely frozen, or maybe their
frozen
body
lakes.
like keeps a very minimum temperature. But either way,
They
they
bury
fucking
themselves in the lake and hibernate in the frost. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe the plesiosaur maybe it doesn't like freeze itself. I mean, it probably could. I mean, well, if it was not a plesiosaur but like a giant fucking salamander or something, that might actually explain why it was living in fresh water rather than the salt water. Because even though the plesiosaurs, there's evidence of them being like inland in North Africa, they're still more commonly have been discovered in saltwater areas. There's just a small amount of evidence for the inland fresh water.
And if it hibernates, it might explain why it's harder to find it. It hibernates in the winter in the cold.
And they would be able to stay underwater way longer too, because
frogs will bury themselves in the mud and then just wait for the lake to freeze over, or just fucking come out and just be like, I was just chilling.
They breathe through their skin. Amphibians do, and then also I think they do have to get fucking like lungfuls of air occasionally. They just have to like keep their skin moist, otherwise they do smother too, because they have to get like more oxygen than there probably is dissolved oxygen in pure water. But like
it was literally a big deal because of that. Is why Frog and Toad broke up.
Do you know how you were saying like the only accounts of like, well, I don't know about the only accounts, but the only accounts that you would know maybe is of the plesiosaurs being inland were just in Africa, correct?
Yeah, in Morocco it said.
Well, it'd probably be in South America too, just because when dinosaurs
That makes
around
me
those were,
uncomfortable. Sorry, that just makes me uncomfortable. I don't like
that was
that.
at least that was Nick Longrich's studies anyway. Found them.
I don't like that picture.
So, but I was just wondering because like they found shark fossils in Kentucky and Tennessee, and not Kentucky, sorry, Kansas and Tennessee. Or no, it was Kentucky. Never mind, it was Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky and Tennessee. And so, because the water levels were a lot like a lot higher back in the day. So who's to say that it wasn't higher back in the day, and they just ended up, like as the water regressed a bit, they just got. That's where their home was, that's where they not stuck, I would say, because if they were stuck in the lake, we would have found it. There's no way that it would hide in one lake, It has to have an outsource. Otherwise, it's not real. If it doesn't have a way out, there's no way that it can exist, because there's no way that our technology that we have today, we can shoot fucking sonar through the ground and see what's underneath it, to a certain depth, and we have more access in water. We could throw a thing down and float it to the bottom, So I think that the only way that it would exist, I'm not saying it doesn't exist, because we had 70% of our Earth is ocean, so it can be anything can be out there. We don't know what the fuck's out there. We don't even we probably only know about 1% of the animal life that's probably in the ocean right now, because we can't get to everything. We can't get to we just don't know. We are currently finding like the animals that we thought were extinct are popping back up again.
Yeah,
like
we
being rediscovered.
We're finding different shit down there all the time.
That's so funny, dude. Like things just like go out of our vision for a little while. We're just like, oh, I guess they don't exist anymore. Like a baby, like a fucking baby. Scientists are just like, oh, I can't see it anymore. I guess it doesn't exist.
But like, only 15 left, and then they're all in captivity. Yeah, the 15 that you guys have.
The 15 that you could find to count, you mean?
Have you guys seen that picture of that like giant squid thing that looks like super like arachnid? That it's like they got a picture of it off the coast, or not off the coast, but like underneath an oil rig. They dropped a camera down. And like they found this thing hella fucking deep, and it like it's like a squid, but it has like super long legs. Looks like a fucking insect or something.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know if I've seen that one.
Yeah, they have it. They got a. It's like night vision. One of the theories that I have with the like the slight hibernation of this animal, I think that might be a thing, because I know that some sharks and shit do that. They'll just fucking in cold water. They'll just kind of shut down for a bit because they don't have to eat as much when it's super cold. So they'll just fucking sit there.
It's a good survival strategy.
Yeah.
Not eating.
Well, I mean, bears do it every fucking. They eat up and hibernate.
That's what I was saying. What if this creature does it? That's why it stays so low, because it had to learn how to survive off of living off scraps, because it possibly survived through like that almost extinction. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it's so elusive because it's been prey before. What if a bunch of the other ones just got like killed by humans back in the day or some shit? Like they just got fucking slaughtered down. What if Nessie isn't there anymore because some dude fucking like slaughtered it, and he's like he just munched it. He ate it. It's gone. He buried the bone inland. Nobody would look inland for the fucking,
What if that was like with Bigfoot too? Like, what if there was actually a Bigfoot and it was like a family, it was last of its kind. Someone just fucking killed it before news media, before the internet, and this person just fucking killed it, and then they died. They died of a cold, and it was just like, oh, dude, I did it. I fucking killed it.
Some motherfucker just has like a dope ass Nessie jacket and some bone lamps in his house off of his great catch.
It's like Monster Hunter. It's like Monster Hunter. This is a Nessie jacket.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, Casey, did you have any more
facts?
Do you have any more facts about theories of what people think,
or different expeditions where they found more?
Yeah,
there's plenty of sightings and plenty of fucking what do you call it, surveys, if you will.
Any that found like breakthroughs?
I had a fun little apparently a paranormal investigator named Ron Halliday believes the Loch Ness Monster may spend most of its time in a parallel universe. And people have witnessed the creature, and other creatures like that may have walked into portals to parallel universes without realizing.
That's some HP Lovecraft shit.
Yeah. Everything. I can't find any other info about his theory other than that. And everybody always saying he like Stranger Things. It's like, no, like everybody else who's talked about parallel universes, you pieces of shit. I wanted to see more about it.
Yeah,
That's
back.
all the information I could find about it was just him spurting out that idea. But I just thought that was interesting. I don't know. Fucking walking into alternate fucking universes and seeing Loch Ness Monster and tentacle monsters trying to fuck you in the ass.
Well, I'm just saying it's like a Loch Ness Monster would make any sense just because it's like you're stuck in water. Like you go to parallel universes and that's your element. You just live in water. You don't fucking walk on land. You don't float. You don't fly. I don't know.
Maybe this parallel universe had the same laws of physics as we did.
Or maybe it's a gate. Maybe it's a gate into the past and that happened and it slipped up. That's maybe that is a good theory. If it slipped up, it was something from the someone opened a portal and then something slipped up from the past.
You tell me people are going through a Terra Nova experience.
I don't know, but I will say though, like
that was a good show and I got canceled.
The ecosystem would be fucked because a plesiosaur is very. It's a well-equipped creature. It's a well-equipped creature for today.
A well-equipped.
I think. Yeah, creature. Because there's a lot of things that chill on the shoreline. So it could still survive today if it wasn't if it didn't get eaten by great whites or if it didn't get its ass beat by orcas.
Yeah.
Because orcas will bully it. Orcas will bully the creature. Orcas will fuck it up.
That? You're just on a cruise one day
and orcas that hunt sharks.
You just
orcas will literally bully it. Orcas will batter it. Won't even bite it, just batter it to pieces.
How funny would it be to watch a fucking like you're just on a cruise and all of a sudden you see a Loch Ness Monster fucking fighting a fucking orca whale? It's like, what the fuck is going on?
No, actually, the Loch Ness would get jumped. Yeah, it would get jumped. Yeah,
well, in a group of both, then it's like a 5-on-5 match.
Yeah,
it's like
that's the thing. Yeah.
Dude, there's a specific sect of orcas that go off the coast of California that actually hunt sharks. And they figured out how to take them out super quick. They actually flip the sharks onto their back.
What is it? It's their liver, their spleen. They think it's like a delicacy, and they eat it.
The whales have actually learned to flip the shark over onto.
They're not whales. They're dolphins.
Yeah,
they're dolphins.
So, is there any final thoughts about this episode? Opinions on what you think about the theory, whether it's bullshit to you or maybe there's a possibility?
Who knows?
I think I don't really have many final thoughts other than my opinion. Or
biologically,
other than that.
I don't think the skeletal structure of a Loch Ness Monster would exist today. Would exist at the same time being unseen. I don't think it'd be able to be that invasive if it had that kind of biological structure.
Do you think possibly in the 1933 sighting? Do you think possibly back then that there was?
Maybe. I don't know, because the thing is, before the internet, who knows? Like post internet, we've seen 100 by now. I think it's it makes sense for its biological makeup. It makes sense for it to pick things from the shore, like the Please Be My Ass sword did back in the dino days.
Yeah, the world is definitely a lot smaller than it used to be because with technology and everything, there's cameras.
Yeah, we'd see it pretty.
The same argument I made about the alien sighting things.
I think we'd see. I think we'd see them on someone's ring.
Yeah,
ring doorbell.
That's possible. Anybody else got some final thoughts? Nate over there, you look like you're digging into something over there.
There's I guess the last thing that I'd like to leave on this is that it's like if it is so if there was any sort of phenomena, it would probably be something like we said before, like coming in through the river, coming into the lake, leaving the lake. That's the reason why like people can't really pin it down, because it's moving. And even at that rate, it's like, dude, there's got to be some people like fucking that work with the river and the local ecology that would have probably seen it there too. Yeah. But it's interesting because even though most people can blow it off like a hoax super easy, like Sasquatch and shit like that, it's still one of those things where there's like sightings still happen. Like April of 2022, there was fucking like a couple had a sighting, did a video, and it was collected by that guy that Casey brought up earlier, like collects all the tales of.
I think Nessie might be out there, but not just chilling in one lake. I feel like if it was a creature, it'd be like a nomad kind of almost, you know, like it's never gonna be in one spot. It would have to change its area, otherwise, what Matthew was saying, we'd see it. But I don't put the fact out there like, oh, maybe it was just coming to this lake for a while. Well, actually, Nate just said that there was a sighting in 2022, so maybe it comes back every now and then. I don't know.
There was also another one in 2021.
If it's real, it only understands Scottish.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Mike, you got any final thoughts on it?
Yeah, I can completely believe that this thing is real just because I can't discount anything that comes from the water because of how little we've explored of it. And I would like to see if there's been any underground sonar done around Loch Ness to see if there's underground channels, possibly.
Well,
I don't know.
One of the river that Joseph was talking about, it flows 100 feet. Or was it 100 feet? It goes underneath the lake. It goes underneath the loch.
Yeah, and then as far as them coming back, that makes sense to me because when we've tagged other aquatic animals, they generally they'll go all over the fucking place, but they usually come back around the same time of year each year. They go in a cycle. Like sharks and shit, they've tagged great white sharks that have gone down all the way to the fucking the coast of South America and then to Hawaii, and they come back. They're just constantly fucking swimming, then to Hawaii, and they come back to California around the same time every fucking year.
Yeah, I mean, there's stories of fish doing that. Marlin traveled the whole ocean to get Nemo.
Yeah. But
with Dory.
Whatever. Dory was
my thought on this is with the sonar, it's easy to believe that it's a deep water animal. So sightings of it, other than it possibly being in the river, sightings in the lake don't necessarily make too much sense to me because I would assume that it would want to stay deep.
Yeah, and that's the
unless it needs to breathe is the thing.
Just come up. Yeah, if it's amphibious.
Yeah, like it has to take a breath every so long. Like sea turtles can hold their breath for I don't know how long. I know it's a long ass time though, and they can breathe out of their ass. But
wait, what? Wait, sea turtles can breathe out of their asses? I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I don't know anything about turtles other than I've watched them eat goldfish, and that was pretty fucking sick.
And plastic bags. They're really good at cleaning up our oceans.
With the straws because they're little coke veins.
Yeah.
No. So who's it? Like maybe
it find a way.
Maybe it can hold its breath for like 3 days, or like not have to take an oxygen breath in for 3 days. And it's in water, and it comes up.
Anybody know how long like a large whale can hold their breath?
I actually don't know.
Because if this is some kind of aquatic mammal, like a whale, that and it has to hold its breath and stuff like that, that'd be pretty interesting. I'm more hoping for a sea serpent of some kind because I don't know of that many.
I think that's most likely.
Yeah. And
222 minutes is the record for the diving animal holding its breath.
How long?
Okay.
222 minutes.
220.
Oh, that's pretty long. It's a few hours.
Yeah. Almost fucking 4.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a strictly nocturnal creature, so it pops up at like it could sleep. It could store enough for like fucking 12 hours of sleep or something, like 6-7 hours, and it comes up at night and just like breathing up a storm.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I'd like to know about and track. One being possible underground caves, tunnel systems, shit like that. The thermal reactions of the lake throughout the year compared to when sightings have occurred, to try and get a pinpoint on what kind of temperature water it likes to be in.
Ooh.
Because and
that's interesting. So this last sighting that I read about was in April. I mean, there may have been others after that, but that was like the last like big sighting was in April
during
of this
April,
year. That's spring.
Yeah, that would be during a melting phase when water levels are high.
Ooh, the lock just got deeper.
Look at you, Mike. You're fucking
Science Mike, dude. He's our science correspondence team.
Well, I like water stuff, even though fucking water scares me.
Well, you, sir, are officially our Aquaman. Mike Aquaman. What is his real name?
Yeah, but Gatorade's better though.
Mike, what is oh shit, don't say that to him.
Arthur, isn't it Arthur Curry?
Arthur Curry. Yeah, Arthur Curry. Yeah. Mike Curry over here, aka Aquaman. And you know what, Mike? I would love to see you instead of Jason Momoa in that water scene chugging that alcohol with tribal tattoos all over your body. Yeah. I would have.
The only difference is I'll look like an actual alcoholic with my fucking beer gut.
Well, you look like a Viking for sure. You would look like a Viking guy out there. It'd be like, oh shit. The only thing that stopped this man was the march of Christianity.
Thank you guys for tuning in to our season 2, episode 1 of the Loch Ness Monster. We have our new host on here with us as well. Nate Nasty? Is it Nasty Nate? Or is it Dirty Nasty Boy Nate?
All 3 for you, Casey.
And get on our fucking Patreon if you want to listen to these episodes 3 days early, eventually.
And see nudes of us. and if you have any actual sightings of the Loch Ness Monster, make sure to report them to Gary Campbell because he's the one who handles them.
No, so actually at the end of this episode is actually because I wanted to get some like local like artist or like undiscovered artists thrown into the end of some of these episodes. And actually we have a buddy Tang and should I say their rap names? We actually have a buddy named 10G and A1 Steak Sauce, and they did a song together called Liquid Mistakes, and we're actually going to play it at the end of this. And check them out, give them a look. If you guys want us to give you any information on how to get a hold of him, just go ahead and email us at Conspiracy Outposts, S on the end of that, at gmail.com.
Also, if you guys have any questions or interesting factoids about episodes we've already done, I hope to be collecting those so we can possibly do a fan episode.
Check out our fucking Instagram. We put memes on there, bitch.
They're fucking hilarious. So and also listen to our Feast and Famine Fall of Medinvar. The shit is great. At first, it was very experimental. A lot of us were very inexperienced at first.
Oh,
but I mean, it is fucking. We are weaving into a beautiful tale, created by none other than a beautiful man, Dungeon Daddy, aka Nate Nasty, who's gonna keep it trashy when he sits here.
Yeah.
And
I think we keep it trashy, if anybody.
Yeah,
we all trashy, dog.
We all trashy.
We all from the same.
All right, sexy. Thank you guys for listening.
I drink just to wake up the next day. And I think I made some mistakes. And I know that I always cross the line. Happens all the time, baby, what can I say? I drink just to wake up the next day. And I think I made some mistakes. And I know that I always cross the line. It gets blurred all the time, guess we'll call it liquid mistakes. Memories and stress, waking up thinking about the things that I said. Things I regret, fucking up the chemistry. Mixing two liquids that ruined the affinity. What's gotten into me? I felt the pain that I left inside. Intoxicated altered me to Mr. Hyde. Broken hearts and broken bottles, what can we do? One alters the ego, the other gives the blues. Now you out here with no one to lose, telling friends of your woes, making me a fool. So this is really how our love concludes. Caused a movement that involved me too. Damn. I drink just to wake up the next day. And I think I made some mistakes, and I know that I always cross the line. Happens all the time, baby, what can I say? I drink just to wake up the next day, and I think I made some mistakes, and I know that I always cross the line. It gets blurred all the time, guess we'll call it liquid mistakes.
Here tripping off the last time I seen you. Put a hex, read the text, said I need you. Can't rest, nonetheless, it was me too. Early in the morning, red bone, trying to sneak through. Going hard at the bar, about 3 a.m. 2 cigars, feeling scarred, got me drinking gin. In my car seat back, trying not to spin. Free tokens in my pocket, never drink again. Carolina, high boots, skin, cinnamon. Me and you, September, I remember when. All the time and the energy you had to spend. Sad face, the emoji got me hitting sin.
I drink just to wake up the next day, and I think I made some mistakes, and I know that I always cross the line. Happens all the time, baby, what can I say? I drink just to wake up the next day, and I think I made some mistakes, and I know that I always cross the line. It gets blurred all the time, guess we'll call it liquid mistakes.